Bro, you can't tell me that theme song, that intro music ain't getting it though. Uh, okay. All right. What up, y'all? How y'all do? Y'all good? Y'all good? I'm so glad that you guys are here. I mean, it's another day to be grateful to have another day. You feel me? Welcome to another episode. We're on episode 2 of season 3 of 1 Billion Brave. Like, we're on our way. We're on our way to the top. Thank you guys so much, so much for tuning in. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to tune in. For the newcomers, thank y'all for tuning in. Have a seat, get comfortable, because this show is about to be too legit to quit, is all I'm saying. All right, so let's do the intro. For those that don't know, my name is Domo Jones. I am an, I guess I gotta say my intro, huh? I'm an author. I am a disability confidence coach. Tanya, I see you, I love you. And I'm doing some other stuff. Okay. Show not about me. So let's get into the intro. Y'all know we gotta have the house rules. Y'all know. First off, we do no profanity on this show. There is so much. A-Town, I see you, I love you. There's so many words in the dictionary that we're going to use. Guess what? We gonna use them joints. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we're gonna use them. Next up, house rule 2. No bashing of gender, religion, politics, or race. Now, you know we family, right? Come on, see, come on, cousin. Uh huh, uh huh. I see you. We look alike in the cheek area. We do. Okay, you're welcome. I'm gonna see you at the picnic. Also, this show, Hi Grandma, I Love You. This show is about the disabled community. It brings light, awareness, informative nation information. We're not about to do this in 2023. Get it together. I just said we about to use our vocabulary words, Domo. Use them in decency and in order. Um, we hey mom, love you. Um, we do talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of what life is like with a disability, but we also bring awareness of how people with disabilities break the stigma beyond their condition. Because let me let y'all know now, I don't know if y'all ready for this, but y'all got to be ready. Y'all need one of us in your circle. That's all I'm gonna say. You need one of us in your circle because we we're we're kind of some dope people. I mean, I don't know if you're aware, but the disabled community are some dope individuals. I can't be in your circle, but you need one of us in your circle, is all I'm saying. Um, Last rule, and this is probably one of the most, well, this is the second to last rule. This is probably one of the most important rules. We do talk about Jesus Christ on the show. I don't know what y'all thought. I don't know what y'all thought. Y'all thought it was gonna be something. No, we're talking about Jesus Christ. He is the main one. We're gonna keep him the main. We're gonna keep him the main. Hear me clearly. We're gonna keep him the main. Thank you, Grandma. It's a little bit of water, it's a little bit of water. And this is the last rule for real. The last rule is um put your good ear on because you already know. This show is solely about the disabled community by a hostess that has a disability, bringing awareness to the community of people in the world. Lady O, Tyler Perry, you know I'm about to come to the house. I'm sliding through. Elijah, what up? Love you. Lady O and Tyler Perry, I'm coming to the house. All I'm asking, we're introducing ourselves now. All I'm asking is some fruit snacks, a water bottle, and green tea. Like, that's it. Because we have so much stuff to talk about. Okay, I'm glad you. All right, be aware because just leave the door unlocked at the Core Hotel. We'll leave the light on for you at the Core Hotel. All right, so let's get into the two new segments. Gabe, I forgot. The more you know. Is that it? Wait, no, not the more you know first. The first one is Braveheart. Thank you. See, get you somebody that understands. We want to shed light and bring awareness to and love on Jessie Borg.official. Listen, her disability is meningococcal meningitis. I hope I said that right. I feel like I did. But guess what, y'all? She is a swimmer. Come on. I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on us. Don't sleep on us. Jessie, we love you. Thank you for being you. We appreciate that. You rock, bro. Okay, now we about to get into the more you know. The more you know says, oh snap, I can't really see it because it says the more you know says disability. Oh, disability spots are not there for your convenience. They are there for our necessity. Okay, because this is the good one. Why am I saying that? Because some of y'all love the conveniency of parking in the handicap so y'all won't have to walk all the way to the front of the doggone store, wherever y'all going. And mind you, the disabled community only get about 2 or 3 good spots. If you don't park in that fourth spot and let us do our due diligence, we already trying to struggle with them little yellow things walking. No. Uh-uh. Get your tail, get your little happy legs, and get your little happy self onto that fourth and fifth spot. Down, all you gotta walk is 2 more steps, and let us have our spaces. We need them. It's already a lot walking from the car to the front of the doggone store. So now, even if we're parking in the front, so now what you're telling me is because you want to get in, get out, you gonna park in the spot when you walk faster than us. Shall give us our due diligence, please. I beg of thee. Enough's enough. I'll put my foot down. Give us our due diligence. Let us park in these 2 spots. Golly. It's a necessity for us, is all I'm saying. That's why I be Instacarting. Because I'm sick of it. Tired of having only 2 spots. And that's another thing. Why we only got 2 spots? 2 and 3 spots. Make it make sense. The able bodies have 412 spots to choose from. And we got 2? And we got disabilities? What? How that happen? Make it make sense. The math ain't math, is all I'm saying. I mean, the more you know. All right, so that's my rant for the day, but it's not really a rant. It's real talk, though. I know it's a joke, but it's for real. And the disabled community will thank me. Freddie, what up? What up, man? Love you. Okay, so first off, I want to shout out my friend Jackie for giving me this sweater. I told her that I was gonna wear it on the show, and I kept my word. So Jackie, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. You are right with me. One love. All right, so we're about to bring up our next guest. Before I bring him up, I want to let everyone know that I did have a guest prior, but she couldn't make it. Now, the downfall of having a disability / medical condition is, thank you. The downfall of having a disability / medical condition / any kind of medical umbrella is you gotta take the spare of the moment, the abrupt medical issue that we deal with. We just gotta take it, and who knows when it's gonna come. And that's exactly what happened to my previous guest that was going to be here. So I want everybody in the chat to put we love you, Yvonne with a Yvonne, and we're praying for you. Put everybody in chat, because I firsthand, having a disability, I understand when you have your mindset on one thing and you want to do it, but your body's like, no, we good. We're gonna go to the left. That's the life of having a disability, and it just comes with it. But we're praying for her, and we appreciate her for just being here. Like it's this life is not easy, but we do it well. Nevertheless, My guest that is coming right now. This is my guy. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. Back in 2019, I was doing a podcast. So I've been doing this for a minute. I did a podcast and it was audio because I was like, we ain't doing this. Y'all ain't seeing me and I ain't seeing y'all. We about to just talk it through. And he was one of my guests, and I feel like I wanted to do it him due diligence to do it the right way now that I have a show. Do it the one being brave way because he did it the don't let the disability fool you way. Now we upgraded, so we're gonna do it the one being brave way. I want to thank Anthony for coming in at the last minute. Literally at the last minute. He was like, yeah, no problem. So without further ado, Anthony, come on, boy. Come on, my boy.
Hey,
Yeah.
Domo, how are you?
Good. Anthony, my
Yvonne,
God.
Yvonne, you get better soon. We're thinking about you. Happy
Thank
to sub
you.
into your place. Hopefully, I can do you justice, Yvonne. But
Listen, I
Domo, thank you so
appreciate
much
that.
for having me here.
Listen, I thank you so so much. And I'm thank you for saying thank you for acknowledging Yvonne. I do appreciate that because we understand. We
Absolutely.
understand we understand what that looks like. But thank you. I want people to know where you from.
I am from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It is 10:12 p.m. here, and we kicking it with Domo. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, viewer
Yeah.
discretion advised because
Let's
we're gonna go off the chart with this show today.
let's go. Y'all, I'm telling you, I got friends in high places. I got friends global. He's from Canada. And he was like, yo, I got you. Let's
It's
go. I
cold,
appreciate
but let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Um, Tell us the name of your medical condition.
So I was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, and I used to be able to walk, mind you, with the use of a cane. My condition subsequently digressed to the point where at age 12, I had a surgery with a success rate of 40%. And because of the invasive nature of this surgery, there was something that went on during the procedure that left me using a wheelchair there on after. But that's not negative. Ain't no
Yeah.
negative with using the wheelchair. It's an opportunity. So
Okay.
I've taken what has happened to me and it's an opportunity, and I'm doing the same thing you doing in Hamilton, Ontario. We doing it justice. We bringing out 1 billion people that identify as people with disabilities worldwide, and we bringing it together, Domo.
Yeah, hands down. I definitely agree. Like, cause you are doing your thing. Like, you are definitely doing your thing. I see you. We be following each other on Facebook, and
Yeah.
we be like, let's go, bro. Let's go, sis. So I definitely appreciate what you're doing out there. So let's get into um your medical condition. Can you explain to people what that is like? What does that look like for you?
So for me, it's different every day. Like most medical conditions, most disabilities, you don't know what to expect on a particular day. For me, it's always been a lot of pain, aches and pains, soreness, but I have a mind over matter mentality. I think with the crazy life that I live, I think that kind of takes away from the mentally from the pain that actually you know that I have on a regular basis. But
Hmm.
it's for me, it's just something that I've learned to live with and learn to cope with. And when my
Yeah.
family, my friends, those around me are really supportive in who I am and what I do. So I just really try to not be dismissive of it, but acknowledge it in a way that really just, for me, it's just about doing what I do, not because of the disability in spite of it, but also acknowledging the disability that it exists. And sometimes we do need to take a step back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I definitely agree. It's not feeling sorry for yourself, is understanding that you have it. That's the reality. You got
Absolutely.
it. But
Yeah,
how are you going to make life out of it?
absolutely.
Um,
And just going through, high school, going through elementary school, going through college graduate, now being employed, now doing my own kind of thing on the side as well. I just try to live the best life that I can,
yeah.
using the wheelchair and, navigating, systemic barriers. putting our
Right.
best wheel forward and ensuring that we do get the integrity, dignity, and respect that we deserve, not as people with disabilities, but as people in general.
As people in general. So as a child, going through like elementary school, high school, that's typically like for us, that's typically like one of the hardest moments because I mean, kids are kids. Kids have their own words, have their own language, and if they see something different, then they don't know how to act right. So for you, was that a difficult time? And if so, what were ways that kind of helped you navigate through it to even be a college graduate?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was fortunate, Doma, at a young age, at the age of 8 years old. I went to this camp that wasn't for people with disabilities, but
Mhm.
simply included people with disabilities. And that to me was a game changer. That was my aha moment. I met a man by the name of John, who was one of the workers at the time. And he said, "Hi, my name is John. Welcome to camp." And that really resonated with me because that was the first time outside of my family and my friends and in my circle that community was there.
Yeah,
And I was Anthony, not just the guy who used the wheelchair. Not the guy with the disability. I was Anthony, and that really springboarded my life through through elementary school. I played sports like sledge hockey and baseball as well. I was part of a team. Doing our thing. We learned how to be, teammates together. We have great friends that we're still friends to this day, and just being a regular guy. Like I was just me. I was Anthony.
yeah,
I mean, mind you, in high school, or sorry, in elementary school at the time, accessibility was much more challenging. It's nowhere near the level it is today. But in saying that, we transitioned from having to make things work now to let's make things work for everybody. Now it's something that using that wheelchair at the time in high school, in elementary school, transitioning from that surgery. Uh, my school wasn't wheelchair accessible. My elementary
mm,
school wasn't wheelchair accessible, so we needed to pivot.
yeah.
Back in the day, there was this thing called a crawler, where a wheelchair would attach to this crawler machine that would be operated by somebody that would lift me up and down the stairs through this machine.
Wow.
Mind you, this was in '92, and then just navigating, just with community, with people involved in my life, and just taking whatever challenged me and making it finding solutions. In life, there are no problems, only solutions waiting to be found.
Right.
And as individuals, we find our own solutions. And they may look unorthodox, they may look a little different to somebody who doesn't know you or doesn't know somebody with a disability, but that's
Mhm.
how we make it work.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And that's I feel like that Natasha, I see you, I love you. That was a good quote that you said. She said the only disability, oh shoot, where it go? She said the only disability in life is a bad attitude. And it is.
Yes, indeed.
Dude. I think that's a great mindset that other people should have. We always live our lives thinking ahead because everything isn't given to us. So we have to think a little bit differently on how we live our lives. And I think that you made a great point in how we navigate through the world. It's not just finding solutions, it's finding them that aren't found yet. It's not that
Absolutely.
we don't have, we just have to, it's not that they're not there. I'm sorry. It's not that they're not there. We just haven't found them yet.
Innovative. You have to be innovative.
Gotta be innovative.
It's
We
really what
have
it's
to.
about.
I think that is it's that's huge that back then there was no accessibility.
Mhm.
So you had to literally like find things to live your life, like for real, for real. Was
Absolutely.
there times that you had to explain to your peers kind of what's going on? Did they even care?
You know what? I was Anthony. I was fortunate enough to be a part of a class that really accepted me as who I was.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends with many of those classmates in elementary school to this day. So I'm just so grateful for that. Grateful for being able to go across the stage in elementary school and get my just deserved. Going through high school, being part of high school and getting a high school degree diploma. Sorry,
Yeah.
and then transitioning. I was part of the high school band and choir.
Come
I was
on.
still playing. I was still playing sledge hockey. I was still doing baseball. I was me. But
Yeah.
going back to that story, Domo, that I spoke about John, he and I are still friends to this day. Some now, what, 34, 35 years later.
Hmm.
And this park that it was initially that was created, Camp Marydale, wasn't necessarily accessible. In 2004, we transitioned into the creation of Marydale Park, Ontario's first fully inclusive, barrier-free park and recreational facility, which is just outside of my town here in Hamilton. That it has accessible swings, accessible activity pads, accessible pools, accessible change rooms, accessible lunch areas, accessible
Yeah.
campgrounds, archery, uh, all the whole kit and caboodle when it comes to accessibility. Everything was thought of proactively
That's
rather
huge.
than reactively. It's a game changer.
Yeah. For real, for real. No, that's like that's a real game. I don't think people understand that's a real game changer. Like all that accessibility and accessibility in all those sports that you just named.
Hmm.
Man, what are the limits where?
Exactly. The only limit is a bad attitude that was explained
Natasha.
earlier, which is phenomenal. It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's super dope. That's very true. I think that that's so dope, and I appreciate those that even thought about stuff like that because that helped us in our future. Like that helped because that was put in place and that was even thought of. Now that just led to so many greater accessibility opportunities that are for today because that was in 2004.
It started in 2004, opened in 2013.
Man, and we in 2023. Listen,
Exactly. Exactly.
what? 2023, everything is accessible.
Uh-huh. If
Everything. I
only,
love
if only, Domo.
if
We there's
we
still a
get
lot work.
there.
There's still a lot of work to be done when it comes to accessibility, as you know. But I
Yeah.
always say that I don't tout perfection. I celebrate progression.
Yes.
Celebrating the progression each and every day is vital to moving forward. The work that we're doing today, laying the groundwork, and the work that we do today is our legacy for future generations to not
No,
have
for
to
real.
navigate the barriers that we navigate.
Yes, that is true. Uncle Delvin, I see you. Love you. I think that is very key because it's about the small victories. There were times where we didn't have it. So if we do have it, we about to celebrate that like it's huge. Like we just
Absolutely.
got a platinum record, like because that's huge. That's for us, that's huge.
It is. It is. It's once you break through a single barrier, subsequent barriers are much easier to break through because you've had that experience of breaking through that barrier.
Yeah,
Once one is broken through, subsequent ones are less challenging. Not to mention
yeah.
they are still challenging, but there's less of a challenge.
It's just yeah, it's less of a challenge. So, are you able to drive?
I do not drive, and
Okay.
that's probably for the greater good of us in Hamilton. So I do take paratransit in our community, and that's a system that really needs to be navigated.
Uh-huh. I get that. Not everybody I mean at least you have transportation. At least you have transportation. That's good because we don't like to be stuck in the house all the time if we don't have to be.
When the system works properly, yes.
When
When you got to be somewhere and they ain't there to pick you up on time, then that's a problem.
What we doing? I said 3. Why were you here at 4:15?
Basically, exactly. And then you got to be on the vehicle because it's a shared ride service, and they taking you around the scenic route, and they ain't taking you where you need to be because
Oh
you
my!
needed to be there like an hour ago. Like, that's a problem.
I don't want to see no more trees. I don't want to see no more street lights. Take me to my destination.
Absolutely.
What we
Absolutely.
what we doing? Okay, so I definitely want to get into your book.
Yeah.
Like we gotta talk about it. Okay, so we gotta start from the beginning. What made you even write the book?
So the book I started writing in 2015, no intention to publish. Now, a couple months later, working at Mohawk College, which I do, which is a community college here in Hamilton, we have a radio and TV broadcasting program in
Mm-hmm.
which, having been there since '99 at the college, you meet a lot of people, you network and whatnot. And one of the radio and TV broadcasting instructors said, you're a huge passionate person when it comes to accessibility. There's this local community TV station that is taking pitches from community members on show ideas. So I pitched the concept of Above and Beyond, bridging the gap to accessibility and inclusion. Understanding that the conversation when it comes to accessibility and inclusion existed very minimally, and I wanted to amplify that message in various ways. So I pitched it in 2016 and was granted a pilot in which I hosted with a student at Mohawk College where I work, and
Mm-hmm.
that turned into a season of 6 episodes in which I produced from the background. So I wasn't on TV just yet. So we had a host, and I was the one, taking care of the logistics, organizing the guests and whatnot. Meanwhile, there's this book that's not published.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, Doma, Above and Beyond really generated from that TV show, and that really became something that I became noted for, or noticed for. So having then published and completed the first season of Above and Beyond on Cable 14 here in Hamilton, garnered so much notoriety and so much respect that they gave me the opportunity to do a second season, and I'm so proud of the second season, specifically because I have people that work with me and whatnot within my day-to-day life, day-to-day activities, and somewhat. But I had this one special person that had an acting background, had a television background, as well as worked with me as one of my PSWs. So we
Mm-hmm.
co-hosted the second season together,
Oh,
which
cool.
was amazing. That the dynamic that she and I have is just something that you really can't put into words. And now as a speaker, it's kind of hard to fathom.
Right.
Then everything kind of just flowed from there. The pandemic hit, so we did season 3 virtually. Like the fact that we're able to do this now and connect with people all around the world is
Yeah.
just unreal. And yeah, and so the book kind of came off of that, came off of the success of the TV show. A buddy of mine said, you really need to get this published. So long story short, I finished it off. I
Mm-hmm.
sent it to a publishing team, and here we are today with Above and Beyond the book,
Let's go.
available available in large print as well, uh, for people who require that. Thinking
That's
about,
smart.
yeah, absolutely,
That is smart.
yeah, and then things kind of just evolved from there. I became noticed for as being the Above and Beyond guy. You know, and,
Yes.
and then just we're actually just starting production this week into season 4, which I'm really really excited for. With Cable 14, I've also transitioned the brand itself into a podcast, which
Come
I'm
on.
calling on you, Domo. I'm calling on you,
Let's
Domo. You're coming on the podcast.
You know, you
Um,
already know I'm there. You already know.
So absolutely, absolutely. And then, there's things like I've got a lot of speaking engagements. I've got
Yeah,
a lot of workshops that I do. Things are just kind of coming together based on above and beyond that brand. So I
I
couldn't be
love
more grateful for the being embraced by that community, by the
yeah.
community not only around me here, but worldwide. I mean, you're in California. Let's go.
Right? Let's go. I think that is amazing. Like I noticed your above and beyond the logo, the infinity. And I was like,
Absolutely.
who is this guy? Like, I just need him. I need him on the show. Like, I just think he's, and that was in the podcast in 2019. I just thought your story and I thought just what you did was like super dope. But even now, a few years later, just to see the enhancement of what you're doing, I just think it's amazing. Like, it's a global movement for real.
It's
And
a
I think,
phenomenon.
oh, hands down,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
definitely and I appreciate that it's from our community. It's not just the average person, the able body. It's us and it shows other people and it shows the world that we're not incapable of making it big too.
Absolutely. And it's something that I talk about to communities. It's the power of allyship. Within the
Mhm.
disability community, we know what we know, but it's also important that we reach out to those without disabilities or who have an indirect relationship to people with disabilities to work with us, but allow
Yes.
people with disabilities to be at the forefront, be leaders, be change makers, be pioneers, cultivate fundamental systemic and culture change with our lived experience. Lived
Yeah.
experience does not get the notoriety nor the respect that it deserves.
Yeah. I
And
totally
and you can network all you want, and that's important. But you don't get a degree without like the networking. So
yeah.
networking is so key.
Yes, that is very networking, you gotta know people.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that networking is a big part of just getting your name heard. Just even getting the who is this person? Like what's going on? What who is this? Why I keep hearing his name? Why I keep hearing her name? I
Yeah.
think that's yeah. What you're doing is amazing. So um I want to know now that you're living this life, the highs and the lows, what's something that you struggle with um just living with a disability?
Go. That's a great question. I mean, the struggle for me is overcoming the ableism that unfortunately still exists, the elitism, the egoism. You know, accommodation is about leveling the playing field. And
Hmm.
if people aren't going to listen to us or hear us and be part of the solution with us, then we're gate kept. Our quality of life is gate kept by others that really don't necessarily get it from our perspective. And
Right.
unfortunately, sometimes until they have an experience of disability in some way, shape, or form, uh, it won't necessarily be understood um, to the point where it needs to be understood. Disability is an inevitability. It could happen to anyone at any time, temporary,
Yes.
permanent, catastrophic, what have you. So it's about being proactive rather than reactive. When you build for accessibility and inclusion, everybody wins. Now,
Yes.
my mentor is Rick Hansen. He is a Canadian pioneer who sustained a spinal cord injury as a result of a boating accident in the 70s.
Oh wow.
From 1986 to 1988, he wheeled across 34 countries, over 26 months, over 40,000 wheel strokes to raise money for spinal cord injury and awareness about disabilities in general. Subsequently, thereon after, a couple years later, in 1990, he created the Rick Hansen Foundation, which is uh, alive and well to this day, that helps support people with disabilities Canada wide, worldwide. Rick is a true pioneer and a mentor and somebody that I've always looked up to. I've never met the man in person just yet,
Mhm.
but somebody who I strive to be a fraction like because of what impact he's had on our community.
That's amazing. That's huge because I do think that I mean I agree with you 100% when you said that anyone can be a part of this the disability community at any given time. That is
Mhm.
one community that is accepted by any and everybody at any given time. It don't matter. You could be the most strongest, the most healthiest person in the world. Let one thing happen and you can instantly fall into our category.
The choice doesn't belong to you. The choice belongs to fate.
That's how God uses it.
Hmm.
Hey, if God wants to use you, He gonna use you anyway, and
And then,
that's
yeah,
it.
absolutely. And it's how you choose to live with disability. Uh,
Yes,
that's what the impact is about.
yes, and I think with us, I think living a life that is um living a life that encapsulates the disability community and the disabled community, whether you have a disability or medical condition, um, we choose to live every day. Like
Absolutely.
we don't have a choice. We fight literally every day to live. Literally every
Me too.
day we fight. We wake up with challenges. We wake up against the odds. And I think for us that's where our strength lies because we already have a disadvantage,
Hmm.
but we choose to overlook that disadvantage.
It's when you take that challenge and turn it into an opportunity.
Exactly. So true. I agree 110%. So like what's next for you, Anthony? I just need to know.
Whew. You know, pardon me. There's a lot on the docket right now. There's events that I'm organizing here in Hamilton and in Toronto, Ontario, in the community. I'm doing a lot of speaking engagements, various schools, various events with the Rick Hansen Foundation. The sky's the limit. I've got a children's book on the way about
What?
belonging. I've got belonging. Belonging is a key word in my vocabulary.
Yes.
You know, you know. My name is Anthony. I'm a college graduate. I'm employed, and I have spina bifida and hydrocephalus, and I belong, just like everybody else belongs. Belonging is key, and understanding. I mean, it's gotten so to the point where I would go to a local mall, for example, and I would it happened just recently where a family was just right beside me as I was navigating the mall, and there's this young child. She was looking at the wheelchair, and she was kind of asking her mom, "What's that?" And then I hear in the background, "Oh, that's a wheelchair." So I took the time to stop and have that conversation with that young child because that's our future. When
Yep.
the future understands accessibility at that age, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And the family was grateful. I had that conversation with the young child. I even volunteer my time with a children's hospital here locally as a cheerleader. We're people with disabilities, and we cheer on game days for the Canadian Football League's Hamilton Tiger Cats. We go to events, and we're all cheerleaders together. You got kids with different disabilities, and you got me, this 42-year-old man, cheerleading with them because the sky's the limit. And
Period.
and I can have this conversation with those parents and those young children, and just seeing the smiles on their faces because I was there.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily have the understanding that they have to this day because of the challenges that I faced at their age.
Yeah.
But because I'm now 42, I can say thank you. It's about gratitude for me. Being able to give back in the various ways, like cheerleading with those groups, getting to know the parents, getting to know the families. You know, when I come to the practices that we have, they're all in awe of seeing me because, I have this TV show, I have this brand, the podcast, the book. Uh, I've got things happening, but for me, it's just like humility. Like these are kids that are understanding that the sky is the limit, and I'm grateful that I'm able to bring that opportunity to them from the challenge they see at the beginning.
I think that's amazing. Mom Sonia, I see you. Uncle Delvin, thank you very much. Miss Carolyn, I do look like my grandma a little bit.
I love it.
Just a little bit. I think first of all, I think that is amazing that you take the time to go to the children, like because that is our future, and we want them to be familiar. So when they grow old, it's not a culture shock. They're like,
Absolutely.
oh, we already know. We actually have one in our community. We actually, matter of fact, my cheerleading teammate isn't a doggone what, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We want to reach the children to be familiar and to be comfortable with seeing something that's different. So I think that is like super dope. I think that is like super dope. Super, super,
Ev-
super dope.
Every day, Domo, whether you have a disability or not, we are foundationally building our legacy.
Yeah.
And when our time is done, uh, you know, then that's where people can remember us by. But we are building that legacy each and every day. When our time is done, then that's what people can remember us by, and that's really what I'm striving to do with my brand.
Yeah. And I love that. Nikki, I love you. Thank you so much. I think that it's a great thing that no matter how high up you get in status, you still have that humble and gratitude mentality that I am a regular person, one. And two, I don't mind talking to you and explaining to you what I have and what this looks like. People do want to understand it, especially kids. And I think that gave a lot of comfort to the mom that you actually stopped and talked to her child.
Yeah, and I was happy to do it. Like it was something that just came natural to me.
Yeah.
I always carry around with me little bracelets with my brand above and beyond on it. And I gave the young child a little bracelet, and she looked at it and she was just so happy to have the bracelet. She put it on her wrist. It wouldn't fit on her wrist because she was so little. But just to see the smile on kids' faces, I just you can't put it out in the word. That's priceless.
It's so priceless. Like even like I have a walker. I don't mind that the kids play on my walker because I want them. You're gonna see it.
Exactly.
Comfortable with what a walker looks like. This is how it rolls. Now, don't be trying to do some extra stuff. It's not a doggone jungle gym. Nevertheless, I want them to get familiar with seeing something so different. You're going to see medical accessories.
Absolutely.
You're going to see them, and I don't mind. I know a lot of parents they're like, don't touch it, but it's okay. Like it's not anything offensive or because a child is curious about something that I have.
Yeah, that's bang on. The only thing that you will not get from me, Domo, is a standing ovation. Okay? Okay, like I
That's
mean,
the only thing, though. That's
that's
the
the only thing. I'm sorry. You won't be able to get a standing ovation from me. I do apologize, but I really I just feel how just I feel like I don't want to mince words here, but like it's an obligation in my eyes to me to give back to the community that's given me the opportunity to be where I am. You know, and amplifying that generation that that's up and coming about
yeah,
accessibility and inclusion. Even the parents of those kids that I cheerlead with, we're always having these conversations. We're always having, what can I do for my kid growing up? Because I have resources within the community, whether it be a need for a wheelchair, a need
yeah,
for a scooter, a need for like accessibility in their home. Because something that looked accessible 10 years ago is not necessarily accessible now.
right.
You know, so we need to continue to build that accessibility.
Yep.
My condition 10 years ago is not the same condition as it is now. So we need to be on top of, proactive about accessibility and
Very true.
ensuring that it. And we have in Ontario the AODA, and I know in the US you have the ADA. But for me, the AODA and the ADA denotes a minimum standard. And I don't know about you, Domo, but I'm for one not a minimum standard. You know,
Oh no.
we're see, there's no teeth in what the legislation provides. And we get to the point where we're all happy and giddy because we're compliant. We need to exceed compliance. We need to go above and beyond. You see what I did there? We need to go above and beyond what compliance looks like, and really understand the true needs for the disabled community. And when you've met one person with a disability, Domo, you've met one person with a disability. There's no
Yeah.
categorizing disability because we are all people and
Yeah.
our disability is unique to us. And
Yeah.
we need the autonomy and the agency uh, to to speak to what we deserve as human beings from an equitable placement.
Very
It's oftentimes we get this pushback. Oftentimes we get this um, response where, oh, you don't need this or you don't need that, from somebody who doesn't necessarily know who we are, who's trying to gatekeep us from living the life that we want to live.
mm-hmm.
And we need to eradicate that. That is the biggest barrier, the ableism, having the conversation. But when does the conversation lead into action?
Yeah.
When do
Yeah.
we cultivate fundamental systemic and culture change? Let's do it together and be inclusive from the start. Because when you retrofit accessibility into an existing tangible or an intangible build or non-build, you're spending more money.
Mm-hmm.
According to that Rick Hansen Foundation, the cost to build a new building being inclusive from the start is 1% more to the actual cost of the building.
That ain't
Whereas,
nothing.
sorry,
I said that's not nothing.
that's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. Whereas if you're retrofitting accessibility into an existing build, the cost is significantly more.
That says a lot. That says a
Absolutely.
lot because if you do it right the first time, you ain't got to switch up on nothing and add that extra because it's already going to be in the groundwork.
Absolutely. And we have an abundance of talent in people with disabilities that are more than willing to be part of the solution.
Okay? Because listen, I help y'all do a little diagram on the stuff that we need.
Absolutely. Like even my place right now, I have everything voice activated. That
Wow.
for some that might be a want, but for me that's a need.
Yes.
I have everything uh, on my phone, for example. Technology is a great thing. When it works. When the
When it
Wi-Fi when the Wi-Fi go out, that's a little bit of a problem. But we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna
right.
talk about that. A little Bluetooth issue before the show, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
You
But
know, we're not gonna talk about the Bluetooth. We're not gonna talk about how the Wi-Fi. We're not gonna talk about how my Wi-Fi was not on before the show, and we're not gonna talk about that.
no, that's between us and your
And
fans.
Gabe,
Exactly. And hey, there you go. Exactly. So it's things like that. Like being just being like I live in a condo that I've made fully accessible to my needs, but I've been here for 10 years.
mm-hmm.
So the accessibility 10 years ago is no longer the accessibility now that I need. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through transitions to make things more accessible for me now as a 42-year-old versus a 32-year-old when I
Right.
first moved in here. So
Yeah.
and that's got to be that level of understanding. That's got to be that understanding that the needs change. You wake up one day feeling different from the next. You don't know what it's like. But again, the challenge reverts to an opportunity.
Very true.
I'm
I
sorry.
No, 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 you're good. You're good. I definitely agree because our body, it goes through unexpected changes, and we have to adjust to it sometimes. And the compatibility and the accessibility that I had last week may not work this week, and it may not work
Absolutely.
weeks from now.
Yeah, and I'm just like fortunate enough to be part of our city's advisory committees and subsequent subcommittees that go along with it. Um, Hamilton, has recognized me as a member of the Order of Hamilton, which I'm truly honored to have received this recognition. But to me, it just amplifies the work that still needs to be done.
Hmm.
We need to eradicate the ableism that we talked about. We need to eradicate the naysayers or those that believe people with disabilities uh, can only attain or achieve a certain benchmark. You know, the
Very,
benchmark is not for you to decide.
yeah, I totally agree. I think that is something that's needed, and I think that that's great that you're on that panel to eradicate and to help those that need that. And I think what you're doing and everything that you're doing thus far is great. And I think that you still have so much more to do. Nevertheless, you're on the road to greatness, and I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate you coming in at the last minute again. Like, you don't understand. I so appreciate you coming in and being a guest on the show and sharing your story, and not just sharing your story, being comfortable to let people know that yes, I have this disability, yes, I have this medical condition, whatever, but it's not stopping me because I'm above and beyond.
Absolutely, we coming in hot, and that next guest that you've got, Domo, has got a lot to live up to. It's got some good wheels to fill. You know what I'm saying?
You already
Yeah,
know.
we got to do some mic drop, thing.
Period. From Canada though. From Canada.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Patrice.
Yo,
Canada, 3 hours ahead of you.
that's
It's almost
it.
11 p.m.
I appreciate it so
I
so.
love it.
I
Always
appreciate
love seeing you, Domo.
thank you for being a guest on the show. We're not gonna let you stay too long because it's about 11 o'clock out there. So we're gonna put you in the back. I'm gonna end the show and we're gonna rock out. Love you, Anthony. Thank
Let's do it, Domo. Let's go. Thank you for having me.
you. You're
Good night,
welcome.
everybody.
Yeah, we got a Canadian in the head. Canadian. Yo, I told y'all we in season 3. Like, we coming in hot. Is all I'm saying. We coming in hot, and you're welcome. Even if y'all didn't say thank you, I'm just gonna say you're welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for even just listening. I know sometimes the disability community and just hearing about it could be a little but I appreciate those that want to learn and want to listen and want to understand what life is like being disabled, what life is like having a medical disability, having a medical condition. I appreciate all y'all. And thank you for the new people that tuned in. Miss Carolyn, I don't know you, but you know my family, and I love you. And thank you for saying I look like my grandma. Thank you for saying that. All right, so church announcements. Next week we are live and in living color Tuesday. Okay, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tune in live because you already know the next guest is about to be on and cracking. Period. Also, next church announcement. If you want to be a guest on the show, if you have a disability, a medical condition, or you are an essential caregiver, hit me up. Let me know because we have to start a season 3. So you know we about to be on this show. Y'all about to see my face every Tuesday. So I'm saying it now before I blow up. If you want to be a guest on the show, let me know, and I'm a pencil you in. All right. I love y'all so much. Um, stay on because y'all about to see the what's it called? Uh, shoot, what's it called? Y'all about to see the sponsors. Yeah, y'all about to see the sponsors. All right, I love y'all so much. Thank you again. We out. Love you, Gabe. You know what to do.